Today's AQA required practical is on the rates of reaction. There are two parts to this practical. The first part will be measuring the change in turbidity, which is the change in the clarity of a liquid, and the second part will be measuring the amount of gas produced. So for the first part of the practical, you will need the following equipment. I've made some solution of sodium thiosulfate, which is 40 grams per decimeter cube. You will need some hydrochloric acid, which I have 2 molar here. Some distilled water for dilutions. 100 milliliter measuring cylinder. A 25 milliliter measuring cylinder. 100 milliliter conical flask. A stopwatch. And a piece of paper with an X marked on it. For this practical, you will need different concentrations of sodium thiosulfate. You will need an 8 gram per decimeter cube, a 16 grams per decimeter cube, a 24 grams per decimeter cube, 32 grams per decimeter cube, and 40 grams per decimeter cube. And you will dilute them with different amounts of distilled water. In this practical, I'm going to demonstrate to you using the 32 grams per decimeter cube of sodium thiosulfate. Therefore, I will need 40 centimeter cubes of sodium thiosulfate and 10 centimeter cubes of distilled water. First things first, put my goggles on. Using my measuring cylinder, I'm going to measure out 40 centimeter cubes of sodium thiosulfate. Pour that into my flask. Then I will measure 10 centimeter cubes of distilled water. Pour that into my flask. Give it a swirl. Put my flask on top of my cross. And then I will measure 10 centimeter cubes of 2 molar hydrochloric acid. Before I pour it in, I need to get my stopwatch ready. And as soon as I pour it in, I will measure the time and see how long it takes for the reaction to take place and the cross to disappear. So I've poured in my hydrochloric acid, give it a stir, and I can already see it going cloudy. It has gone cloudy and the X cannot be seen anymore. We'll repeat the experiment and you will record your results on a table like this. So each time you do it, you will do it 3 times, so that then you can work out the mean. So there are different concentrations, and I just demonstrated this one to you, and you will do it 3 times and then work out the mean. For the second part of the practical, I will be measuring the amount of gas produced in a reaction. So I will need the following equipment: a white tile, conical flask, a bung, delivery tube, some plasticine and a syringe. I will also need a measuring cylinder, 2 molar hydrochloric acid, ribbons of magnesium metal measured at 3 centimeters, and a stopwatch. Firstly, I put my goggles on. Secondly, I will set up my practical, so I have my white tile and my conical flask, bung, delivery tube and my syringe. For this practical, I will be measuring the amount of gas produced when the hydrochloric acid reacts with the magnesium strip, and I will measure the amount of gas produced every 10 seconds, and this is the table I'll record my results. Firstly, I will measure out my hydrochloric acid, and I need 50 centimeter cubes. to my conical flask. Get my stopwatch ready. Put my magnesium strip in, and then I will start my stopwatch. And you can see the amount of gas being produced in the syringe. So every 10 seconds I will see how many milliliters of gas is being produced, and I will record that on my table. Using my results, I can then make a graph.